The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Greetings, viewers. I'm Gamichi Samandida, and you're tuned into POA Daily News. Stay with us for in-depth coverage of the stories shaping our region and the world. Togo and Benin are working together on the coordinated management of the transnational cultural site of Koutammakou. The two countries recently held in Defali the second session of the transnational body responsible for monitoring the site. The meeting follows United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO's decision to expand the boundaries of the Koutammakou to include its Beninese section, now listed as a World Heritage Site. UNESCO recommends that both countries establish a joint management mechanism supervised by the Cultural Heritage Directorates of Togo and Benin and define its responsibilities. UNESCO also requires the two states to submit by December 1, 2026, a joint report on the conservation status of the site and on progress made in implementing the recommendations issued. The African Union International Center for Girls and Women's Education, in collaboration with UN Women, officially opened a Continental Youth Capacity Building Workshop in Nairobi, Kenya from November 25th to 28th, 2025. The workshop, themed Empowering Girls in STEAM, Innovation for Inclusive and Gender-Responsive Education in Africa, gathers young leaders and professionals from 24 AU member states. The main objective is to equip young women with crucial digital and financial literacy skills and strengthen advocacy for girls' inclusion in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Despite efforts, girls remain critically underrepresented in STEAM fields across Africa. Mrs. Simon Yanke, coordinator of the AU CIEFA, noted that women account for only 35% of STEAM graduates, a figure that has stagnated over the past decade. She stressed that African girls possess the necessary talent but are often hindered by a lack of equitable access to technology, inspiring female role models, and supportive educational environment. The workshop aims to directly address this by celebrating the achievements of women role models and showcasing grassroots initiatives. Mozambique and Zimbabwe signed several memorandums of understanding over the weekend to deepen economic integration, improve regional connectivity, and strengthen border security. The governments were concluded during President Emerson Mnangagwa's state visit to Maputo. A timetable was approved for the rollout of a one-stop border post on the strategic Forbes, Mashimpada, and Nyampanda Chumano corridors. Inspired by regional best practices, these facilities are expected to reduce logistics delays and costs for operators while improving customs coordination, helping ease the improvement of goods and people. The effort aligns with the broader ambitions of the Southern African Development Community, SADC, and the African Continental Free Trade Area to expand intra-African commerce, still constrained by significant tariff and non-tariff barriers. Moving to Nigeria and Brazil. Nigeria and Brazil have signed a landmark memorandum of understanding to accelerate local pharmaceutical manufacturing, vaccine production, and broader industrial cooperation. The agreement was signed between the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain, AIMS, Brazil, and AUX Medical Limited. The Coordinated Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Mahmoud Patti, who presided over the ceremony, said it was a direct outcome of high-level discussions between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil. Speaking at the ceremony, Patti reaffirmed the government's determination to reposition Nigeria's health industry for self-reliance and global competitiveness. Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary, FMOH Daju Kacholom, emphasized the significance of the partnership and the ministry's commitment to driving impactful reforms. Now to business news. Ghana's central bank on Wednesday announced a further 350 basis point cut in the benchmark lending rate to 18%, down from 21.5%, citing a positive inflation outlook and the need to support economic growth. During a regular Monetary Policy Committee press briefing, Bank of Ghana Governor Johnson Asiyama said that the committee expected inflation to fall further by the end of the year. Given the anticipated significant decline in inflation by the end of the year, the tight monetary policy stance, and the significant build-up of reserves, which provides an anchor for exchange rate stability, Asiyama said the inflation is estimated to remain around the target band of between 6% and 10% well into the first half of 2026. Moreover, he said the high interest rates by commerce banks give the MPC some scope to ease policy to boost the growth recovery efforts. The governor pledged that the committee would continue to monitor developments and take the appropriate policy decisions to ensure sound and stable macroeconomic conditions. Tunisian President Kais Saied on Tuesday met with George Alombi, the newly appointed president and chairman of the African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, to discuss economic cooperation, the Tunisian presidency said Wednesday. Saied held the strategic partnership between Tunisia and Afreximbank, highlighting the bank's role in providing concessional financing to support the state budget and key development projects. He also underscored the bank's contribution to boosting intra-African trade, calling it an essential partner in addressing economic and financial challenges facing both private and public sectors. Saied welcomed Afreximbank's plan to open a regional office in Tunisia, saying the move would invigorate the financial sector and broaden funding opportunities for Tunisian businesses. Speaking to reporters after the talks, Alombi said the bank is ready to finance various projects the Tunisian government has undertaken to sustain its economic development. Finally, moving on to sports news, the Confederation Africaine de Football CAF has officially kicked off the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations AFCON Morocco 2025 Diaspora Tour, a vibrant showcase designed to unite the continent and its global diaspora through the spirit of football. More than just a promotional campaign, the Diaspora Tour is being celebrated as a powerful cultural movement, one that bridges Africa with its sons and daughters spread across the world. The tour will make 2 grand stops: London on 28 November at Below the Lights, Piccadilly Circus, and Paris on 4 December at Yo-Yo Palaces de Tokyo. At the heart of this initiative is the majestic AFCON trophy, whose presence symbolizes far more than symbolic silverware. For millions across the continent and in the diaspora, the trophy stands as a beacon of pride, unity, and continental belonging, reminding all Africans that the ultimate prize of their biggest football showpiece belongs to them no matter where they reside. CAF describes the tour as a moment where heritage meets legacy, a celebration of shared identity powered by music, culture, and football. It pays tribute to the enduring connection between Africa and the diaspora, a connection that comes alive in every match goal and chant that reverberates from Casablanca to Paris, Lagos to London. The events will highlight the African football legends who have become household names across Europe, while also honoring the diaspora communities that have played a pivotal role in projecting African talent on the global stage. Now let's take a look at the current weather forecast and the anticipated conditions across the region. That wraps up our broadcast for PO8 News for this hour. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned for more news updates from Africa.